Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to show you how we took this old outdated popcorn ceiling and made it into a nice, smooth, clean surface that we are actually going to plan to attach shiplap to. So here you can see the after. We took down all of the popcorn. Here's a list of the supplies you're going to need. I'll have all of these supplies linked down below in the description box in case you plan to take on this project yourself. We start with our garden hose sprayer to wet down the area that we're going to start with. This will help eliminate dust and make it easier to scrape. This scraper tool is such a lifesaver. It's basically scraping off that excess texture and pushing it into this plastic bag. But as you can see, it still makes a ton of mess. Our plan is to actually make a faux shiplap ceiling, so we weren't so concerned with how the drywall looked underneath all the popcorn texture because we're just going to be covering it up. But the reason we did this is so that the faux shiplap would have a nice flat surface to adhere to. As you can see the difference in color between the wet texture and the dry texture. This allowed us to see where we needed to work, and if you just wet the entire ceiling at once, it would probably dry out too soon before you could get there. So we worked section by section, and it kind of gave us small goals to work at because this is very physically taxing. That bag gets very, very heavy, and what you won't see is us dumping these bags into a huge garbage bag that weighed a ton. We also attached an extender to the popcorn scraper tool to allow us to have a longer reach. So keep that in mind that the popcorn scraper only comes with so long of a stick, but since our ceilings are so high, we had to add an extender to it, just like you would on a roller paintbrush. We went through so many of these plastic bags. I would suggest having a ton on hand depending on the size of your ceiling. We actually had to reuse our last bag several times over and dump all the texture out of it, which made the project even more taxing. So make sure you have plenty of plastic bags. I also want to stress how important it is to protect your floors and furniture. Move all of the furniture out of your room and make sure you put either plastic or paper down on your floors because this will create a lot of dust, and you'll see quite the mess that it makes here in just a little bit. And here is the mess after me actively trying to keep it somewhat together while Seth worked. I would sweep the dust into piles and take my shop vac to vacuum it. And it worked pretty well, but this was a job in and of itself. And this was at the end of the day when we were both tired. So please make sure that you cover your floors. Make sure you guys use a shop vac to clean up all this dust. Another alternative will be to sweep it into piles and dump it into the trash bag, or roll up your plastic that you set down to protect your floors. Do not use a regular vacuum because this is just way too much dust that a regular vacuum just can't handle. So make sure you're using a shop vac. After vacuuming up all of those piles, I still had all this residue stuck to our floor, so I just took my handy dandy Swiffer and mopped it up, but I probably mopped this floor 3 or 4 times to really get all of the residue off of the floors, including drying it afterwards because I was just kind of pushing around the dust there for a while, but it ended up working. Just make sure you cover your floors, guys, and save the time. And here is the final ceiling. We add shiplap to this ceiling, so if you're interested in seeing the amazing after of our shiplap ceiling, make sure you're subscribed. Until then, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in our next video.